Although Homelander's dialogue was extremely satisfying to end the finale and the boys, the show as a whole, not satisfying. I have to say, after seasons 4 and 5, I'm down to like a 3 out of 5 overall in the show. I'm like 6 out of 10 if I'm rating the show as a whole, which is so sad because it's like so iconic. It's so iconic, and I'll still call it so iconic. But like season 4 was 2.5 out of 5, maybe less, and season 5 I do think has a lot of fun qualities to it. I'll give it that. I think it's a 3.5 or a 3 out of 5, so it's better than season 4 to me, but still just it peaked at season 3, man. Welcome back to the movieverse. Sorry. Welcome back to the movieverse. I am your co-host Benji Bay, Benji Boothang, BMT. This is your other co-host Kendrick, aka
Kendrick Lamar.
Kendrick Leamer. We're back with another full episode talking about The Boys season finale and final season. Before we get started, let them know what they need to do.
Like and subscribe. Check us out on all podcast platforms. We're on Apple, Spotify. Check us out on YouTube here. Like and subscribe. We're trying to grow. And check us out on TikTok for all our fun clips.
There you go. Appreciate that, Kendrick. Again, we're Ben and Ken. Let's go ahead and go over our thoughts on The Boys. So I kind of introed our thoughts. Do you want to start with the finale or the season as a whole?
Let's start finale.
Okay.
Then we'll get into our other issues.
I think Homelander's character ending is fantastic in the way I want his character to end. I wanted his character from the beginning to go out in a, for back of letter language, as a pussy. Like I just wanted him to go out as a pussy. Like I wanted to see him on all fours begging for life.
Of course.
And that's it.
That was the character.
That was picture perfect to me. Yeah. I loved the dialogue. I loved that he wanted to eat his, and I loved that he wanted to suck his, that was, I think that was just so fun to see him at like the low of lows.
Same.
I loved seeing him trying to fly away. Like there's just so much about the way they ended him that I thought was so great. It's just everything since season 3 with his character was so unsatisfying to me.
Yeah.
I just so unsatisfied leading up to this ending.
No, for sure.
So that's what's frustrating. I think the finale did everything really fun and well for the most part with everything that was set up to the finale. Yeah. Like if I'm taking into account everything that it did wrong leading up to the finale did as best it could. If that makes sense.
That's valid. I think it wrapped up for the most part where it had to with where it was at, like you said. I feel like most of our characters made sense where they ended. I think Homelander had to die. I think it had to be Butcher to do it.
Yes. The show was never going to be like people complaining about the villain never winning. Like we were never going to have Homelander, this like white supremacist piece of trash, winning. Like there's no way that was ever going to be
but it wasn't your thoughts because the show is outrageous, right? You're like, maybe that could happen. I had moments like that. Yeah. But I'm glad it didn't. It had to be Butcher to do it. Yes. We can get more into how that all goes down later. But yes, I will say I think like Mother's Milk ends off in a good place. Like, that's where I thought he'd end up with his family. Takes in Ryan. Cool.
Yes.
Kimiko's just doing her own life, thinking of Frenchie and stuff. I'm like, that's a good place to put her.
Yeah. Huey and Starlight was fine.
Yeah, that was fine.
I thought their ending was fine.
Has a record store and baby.
I think that the scene between Huey and Butcher is actually phenomenal.
Yeah, that was a good scene.
I actually think that was a great scene.
Unexpected for sure.
Their dialogue was great. I honestly didn't know how they were going to end it.
Same. I always thought Butcher would end up dying, but I thought it would be to take out Homelander, but he died in a very different way than I expected.
And it was true to his character. Like
it was
in a way. I didn't know how I felt about it at first. I was kind of like, I don't know if I like this. Like Butcher's dog dies. It's just like really sad. Honestly, the stuff around Butcher, and Frenchie was just really sad. I got to give it props for that because they did it even with season 4 and 5 not being good. Frenchie and Butcher's deaths still hurt.
Yeah,
I mean they hurt, especially Frenchie, man. Oh.
I know that one was really rough.
That was really rough.
Homelander's death definitely felt very like, all right, let's go. Like, you're very right. I think the scene where he's cowarding and all that was great. So, sticking to the finale, I think that's the best they could do it now. To really stick a finale, I think everything leading up to it has to be a lot better. So we can get into that too. Yes. But finale wise, like technically on paper, that was pretty great. Like you did what you had to do.
I think specifically, at least
not really a different way I would do it for where we were at that time. Yeah. There's things I did want more of, or things I wanted different, but the show didn't set it up.
Do you think it would have been dope to have like Gen V come in to fight too?
Literally pointless.
I think what's crazy is I feel like they probably overthought it and were like, well, how do we include them? Literally the most peak thing they could have done was have Gen V come in and have Homelander just destroy him. I think that would have been pretty sick.
Yeah.
Because obviously, everybody wants to see the main characters we've spent 5 seasons with finish off Butcher. That is technically speaking what everybody wants to see here.
Yeah, this is the whole
There's
show.
Not enough. I mean, if they had done more in the final 2 seasons to build up some Gen V characters, then sure, I'd be fine seeing them fight off Homelander. But with how they had built up the last 2 seasons, you gotta at least have, like, how cool would it have been if it was just some Darth Vader-esque moment and like Homelander just wrecks a couple Gen Vers, like that'd just destroys them in the fight.
Yeah.
Shreds them, and then it's our main 5, I feel like they got to do something with them, but they really did get the back burner like crazy.
Very, like, to the point where why'd you even put them in the show?
Yeah.
They didn't need to be in the season.
And then they even just canceled the show. Like, it just, Gen V turned out to be nothing.
Oh, yeah.
Which is why I think you told me to say this last week. This show specifically, it obviously changed direction, like full U-turn, because this show had been setting up so much stuff by the end of season 3 that they completely disregarded. You had Gen V getting set up by the end of season 3. You had Butcher being like this type of Homelander, technically a good guy, technically the guy that is fighting Homelander.
Yes,
but no, and he literally has the same powers as Homelander to an extent. Like the ending of season 3 sets up Butcher's character as like this guy that is technically good, but like is turning into another version of Homelander just on the opposite side of the spectrum. You know what I mean? They completely sidestep that in season 4 and 5. They just make him dying and like I don't know, like Butcher was supposed to be this peak character, and then they give him tentacles. They remove his. It's just like so stupid.
Yeah.
And then they spend all this time on in season 3 they build up Soldier Boy. He's gonna be the guy.
Yeah.
He's gonna be the guy, right? They're gonna use him, and he ends up being put even in season 5 in the finale into a freaking box. You know what I mean? It's just so stupid. And then they're like, oh, we're gonna set up this whole virus, and then they don't even use the virus.
We're gonna take out the whole virus in the middle of the season,
and then we're gonna say, oh, we don't want to use the virus. That seems like it'll be too hard to write how we want every character to die.
So let's
get rid of the virus. And what we'll do is we'll give Kimiko Soldier Boy's powers. We'll just say that like, they just tested it on Soldier Boy, so he gained the powers, even though we've never had any lore built around that the entire show. Then we'll bring back the virus at the end of the show because let's have the virus. Let's make Butcher release the virus, right? It's just so the direction after season 3 is completely lost. There's no direction in the show.
I mean, this whole first season of Gen V was to set up that virus.
Which
literally
is insane.
Ending of season 4 was to set up that virus. Like,
it's insane.
Everything led up to that virus. And the minute it got destroyed in season 5, I was like, hey, I guess we're taking a whole other direction.
They're literally like, oh yeah, Soldier Boy didn't it. I love the way it feels like a Palpatine's return line to me, where I can't remember who says it, but they're like, well, you guys know that Soldier Boy didn't just have those powers. It was because of all the testing they did on him. It literally felt like a Palpatine's return.
You're right.
It was like the most what? You can't just say that. Soldier Boy's powers are some of the most OP powers. They literally take away
he's literally
superhuman's
immortal.
powers. He's immortal. And you're sitting here going to be like, oh yeah, like we haven't brought it up once the entire show, but like, yeah, he didn't have those powers. They just like happened because he was being tested on. So they just happened. I'm like, okay.
And so let's first of all reconfigure it.
Yeah.
In
first
one episode.
Of all, huge plot hole.
Yeah.
If that's the case, how come nobody else thought of that? There's no way that our boy like Giancarlo Esposito didn't think of that and create more Soldier Boys then. Like, what the freak? Like, there's just no... It was like the biggest thing. And then to add to the plot hole, they've got the smartest woman in the world, and they don't even like use her till the last minute to create and there was no reason she wouldn't help. Like, it just, none of it felt so lazy. The writing was just atrocious.
That's the overall theme here, dude.
Oh
just
my
lazy.
gosh, lazy.
It just all felt lazy. And I think everyone agrees on that. That's the funny part. Like, you're not going to find, I think, one person out here who doesn't think that about season 5 and 4. Yep. Literally every reviewer I watch, same thoughts.
Yep.
And so, when it's unified like that, It's a problem.
But it's sad because of how iconic it is.
I know.
You have one of the greatest performances ever in TV history. One of the greatest
villains of all time.
And then in general, just a comic book character, it's definitely top 3 performances ever.
Yes.
But you could argue this is a top 10 TV show performance of all time in general.
100%. Homelander is iconic.
If it wasn't a comic book show, he would have won Emmys.
Yes.
Multiple.
Yes.
He would have.
Yeah, season 1 through 3 just have this like level of peak and freshness and like creativity to the max that you never know what you're gonna get,
and it completely loses
4 and 5 just felt like
the outrageous stuff even seemed to serve a purpose, and then in this
and then it just starts
last
to
2 seasons it just feels outrageous to be outrageous. Like, oh, we got to include something, so let's have a ton of guys eating each other out.
Season 4 just did tons of that.
But like Herogasm, like that episode's one of the best episodes of the entire show.
Yeah, it's one of the highest rated and everything.
It's got such good narrative arc to it, even though it's also just the most absurd crap ever. Right? So it's just funny. Like they were so good at being absurd while serving a purpose. And in the last 2 seasons, it feels literally like, oh, like I said, we're just gonna have a couple guys eating each other's butts out, but like it just feels so like there's nothing that feels warranted in 4 and 5. No. Everything feels like, oh wait, we haven't done anything super shocking in a while. Let's include something this episode.
Let's do flying animals.
Let's do flying animals that attack everybody, and that made no sense. Like, it's just so many things that didn't make sense.
Yeah, dude.
Let's introduce a character that's like ingrained into the walls from all the poison at this facility.
That was just weird.
And then kill him, but like it just
to set up this prequel show. Everything was to set up a prequel show too with Soulja Boy's character.
Yes.
Like,
and I'm excited for the prequel show. Actually,
it's like, why you spend this last season we got on that?
It feels like they've got direction again. That's the thing. But the one thing I'll say about the Soulja Boy show, you need to stick with your direction and keep it at 3 seasons max. Because the one thing we've learned from the boys and Gen V is they obviously don't have enough good dialogue and guidance to carry the show longer than 3 seasons.
There just starts to become so many holes. It's just like so many things you can nitpick and just go, this doesn't make sense. This doesn't make sense.
Show should have ended at season 3.
And it would have gone out so on top.
You should have had Soulja Boy, also like then you introduce this how many ways did we introduce in the final 2 seasons to kill Homelander? Soulja Boy's powers, the virus, and the sun. The sun doesn't even serve a purpose. I'm sorry, he literally holds him down. He gets his butt whooped, and you don't even give him a Karate Kid moment. Like I totally thought, we'll at least get a peak fight between the two of them.
That's
because we let Homelander whoop on him, and we let Butcher come in and save him. I'm like, we're gonna get some Mr. Miyagi
the way he
stuff.
shows up too is kind of
it's so dumb,
convenient.
Dude. It's so dumb.
He's looking at the TV and he's like, I better show up there and help out Butcher.
So but again, they do so many things that are like cliches and other stuff that make you think, okay, they're gonna do this, and then they never do anything with it. Like him getting his butt whooped by his dad, by Homelander.
You would think that,
and Butcher coming in and saving him. You're immediately like, okay, we're gonna get some like Mr. Miyagi like training him, like Butcher like being there for him, helping him get to where he needs to be to fight Homelander. Like but again, that's such a choosing to bring in the kid and talk about or even introduce the idea of him fighting Homelander. That's such a story of its own that would need so much time to build up the actual depth needed to pay that off. That's probably why they didn't do anything with it, because they're like, oh yeah, we're kind of towards the end of the show, and this is a big concept to introduce of like, okay, we're gonna have this end being like a peak father-son battle, So that's probably why they don't do anything with it. But again, they introduce the idea, and that feels like the entire final 2 seasons introducing ideas that they're like, oh, but we probably can't pay that off.
Yep, ideas, and then just forgetting them, acting like they don't exist, not paying them off. And I think season 5 genuinely just needed to go just balls to the walls crazy, like as far as epicness and craziness. Like I just think like, we had that final poster that was from the comics of like Homelander's there with all these heroes up in the sky, like, Butcher's by himself, and I'm like, dude, I would have loved a full-on battle where you bring in our Gen V characters, you bring in all these heroes to fight other heroes, and we get Butcher and Homelander one-on-one, like
some sort of an
something
endgame
epic
type
like
scenario.
that. And I was like, this seems like what we're building up to, and it all just felt like it was over so quick, and they didn't have the budget to do it. Like,
sad, dude.
We know they didn't have the budget to do it. So I'm like, why didn't we just make this season, take the time to get the budget, make it just huge?
I mean, Spider Noir, which we'll talk about, but like they're by the same studio, Amazon, right? It had an insanely higher budget than the boys did. Are you serious? And it can show. Yeah, it shows. I mean, it's like so well produced. It looks amazing. It's phenomenal. And then you watch The Boys season 5, season 4, and you're like, this.
I needed it.
It feels like it needs to have a high budget, but it doesn't have it. So it's like just staying below a bar that it's supposed to be at. Because seasons 1 through 3 feel so high budget. Yes, and fun.
They get away with it because it's just like we get just small bits and pieces of this really cool stuff.
You literally have a plane season 5 that's just insane. Where and then he kills everybody. It's just like,
and we get a fight like here and there, But season 5 is like, that's why I said balls to the walls. Like we need a full on budget to go crazy,
and they don't.
So then it just falls flat. So yeah, overall, it just like I think everyone thinks it fell flat.
Yep,
that's the general thing at the end of the day.
Well,
so
there's our thoughts on The Boys season 5 and the finale. Again, join the conversation in the comments. Let us know your thoughts. We'd love to hear everybody's thoughts on this movie. And again, please support us. Please like, subscribe. Been doing this a long time. We'd love your support. Let us know if there's anything we can improve, anything we can do differently, or anything you want us to talk about. We posted a video on Mando and Grogu, as well as a video on Backrooms and Obsession and all the recent stuff that has come out. So please make sure to check those out.